Hello and welcome to Wacom Madness. I'm Wacom, and today we will be doing some of the Last Unicorn fan art. And I will be doing a voiceover. Yeah! So, for today's voiceover, I will be talking about the drawing here a little bit, as well as why fantasy means so much to me. So let's start off with the information about the drawing itself. Last week, I finished the book The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. It was a great book and I highly recommend it, but for it I was given an SSR assignment by my English 4 teacher to do 3 small projects. I did a book review, a quotes page, and this. The Last Unicorn holds a place in my heart because of when I was little I would watch the movie over and over and over again, and I eventually learned about the book and had to read it. Anywho, for this drawing, I decided to experiment with my style a little bit because of how realistic I wanted the figures to be in the drawing. I used references a lot, and it just took me forever to get the figures right. And I wanted to give the unicorn a different pose, but I was just having trouble finding a reference, so I ended up just doing a rearing pose anyway. I also wanted to mess with my shading a little bit as well as my line art. So for the background I end up doing no line art at all, and then I do heavy line art on the bull and the unicorn just to make them the center focus of the piece. It was really fun to do this line art instead of my usual stuff because of how heavy the shading looks and how different it is from what I usually do. That seems like all the information I have about the drawing right now, so I guess we will jump right into the genre of fantasy. The definition of fantasy as given by Google is a genre of imaginative fiction involving magic and adventure, especially in a setting other than the real world. Anywho, let's start with some movies that I love that are set in the fantasy genre. There's the Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Hobbit, there's any Studio Ghibli movie really. There's Mary Poppins and Clash of the Titans 2010. Ooh, there's also The Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal, which are amazing. And we cannot forget the nightmare that was The Neverending Story. And the always a classic, The Wizard of Oz. These all have their different charms to them, and they all have different themes. For example, Clash of the Titans is from 2010, as I stated before, and it's set in a mythological universe. There is also the Wonders that are the puppet films, which are set in their own fantasy universes, which is The Labyrinth, The Dark Crystal, and The Neverending Story. The fantasy genre has just taken a hold of my childhood and held it close. That is why fantasy means so much to me, and part of the reason why I love unicorns so much is just because of what they remind me of, as well as dragons. I do love me some dragons. Anyways, most of the reason why I like fantasy is purely because of the mythical creatures that come from the mythologies that exist. One of my favorite things to do is to see what people can do with their own fantasy universe. It's always fun to watch people develop their characters and the character's universe as well. Anywho, I think I'm going to wrap up this voiceover. I tried to do it for as long as I could, but editing is a pain in the butt. So, I'm going to leave you as of now, and I hope to see you in the next video, as well as the end card. Bye-bye!
Hello, looks like you've made it to the end of the video. Links to social media and other information is down in the description if you want to go check that out. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye!